Dr. Ottinger, Dr. Ottinger, Dr. Ottinger, he is here, he is here.
Good evening, Noel Gallagher.
How do?
How are you, son? You all right?
I'm all right.
Are you done now? Is tour over? Are you now a man of leisure?
That's it. Yeah, taking voluntary redundancy.
See, have you? I mean, how long are you retiring for?
I've not got a time scale on it until I can be bothered doing something else, which hopefully won't be for a long time.
How long have you been at home for then? When did it finish? When did you arrive back?
I got back from Texas last Sunday, and then I had a gig Wednesday, and then kind of partied into Thursday. So it's really kind of like only the weekend, really.
And are you driving the wife mad yet? Is she going, "No, can you just get out of my way for a minute"?
We're still in what's commonly known as the honeymoon period, but it's the world's going to come crashing in for one of us in the next 10 days, I would have thought.
And is that beard then? I'm guessing you've got sort of a nice sort of week-long stubble now.
Yes, not as bad as hers, though.
Do you know what? It was always there. I just thought, will he go for it? Will he go for it? And he did. Well played. Right, listen, let's talk about your team. Have you been able to watch much of City over the last few weeks because you've been all over the place?
Yeah. The illegal internet trade is thriving.
Excellent. Okay, so obviously you would have been back here to see the game at the weekend. Did you go?
No, I didn't go. I've not. My first game will be at Chelsea next Sunday.
Are you going, Noel?
Yeah. Yes, I am.
You are? Fancy meeting up for a beer after?
Nope.
Right, listen, let's talk about your club because it's such a bizarre situation because quite often...
The Crisis Club.
Well, this is it.
Who says that, though? Because I've got loads of tweets from...
Everybody
Yeah, no, he's right.
But I've not called it Crisis.
No, but I mean, I listen to you I listen to Talksport a lot, and I read the newspapers, and literally, I think it was for 6 weeks, ever since we got beat by Madrid, or particularly by Dortmund, it was, you'd think we were kind of Liverpool or something, do you know what I mean?
But the trouble is, when a lot of money turned up at Chelsea, a lot of Chelsea fans, I felt, needed to grow thicker skins because Chelsea then were the most talked about club, and as Man City are one of the most talked about clubs. And I think the fans have got to accept that there's going to come unfair stick.
Oh yeah, we do. I mean, no one that I know that goes to the match was, upset about it. You know, look at Mancini, comes in wearing a mask in the press conference. Yeah, we rise above all that. We know where we are. We know where we are.
The thing I find amazing about I agree with you that some of the papers have been talking City in crisis and all that. Is at the moment they're currently top of the Premier League. They haven't lost the game either home or away, and they've got more goals, a better goal difference than anyone else.
Yeah, and I think we're 2 points better off than we were at this stage last season. Yeah, no, I mean, City's a big story, and it probably always will be. And that people will use the European thing as a stick to beat us with. But I thought we'd be top of the league at this point, looking at the fixtures and all that. Probably won't be by the end of the month. We've got 3 tough games coming up now: Chelsea, Everton, and United. We could well be second or third, but I still think. It's looking now, after that Tottenham game, it's looking like we're just about to start clicking into gear. Aguero's fit, Silva's back. It's looking good.
Other than the weekend, the games have been quite tight. You've been getting over the line. Of course, you drew away to West Ham, but they've been quite tight. 1-0 against Swansea. There's been other games. There's Spurs 2-1. You've been getting over the line, but this is for the first time this season where you've actually put a club to the sword.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it shows a different side of us. I think teams kind of refused to come out and play us at the back end of last season because they knew they'd probably get leathered. And you're seeing teams set up now against us differently. So I think I'm liking it at the minute. To say, when you pick up the papers and read about this lack of team spirit, and yet we've come back from the dead, 6 or 7 times this season already, it's ludicrous. But I think we're in a great... I'd rather be in our position than anybody else's in the league, let's put it that way.
Are you worried about the situation with Balotelli at all? Another game where he's not played?
It kind of feels like he's going to go now. It feels like... Well, once the manager said... I mean, I don't know, you know what I mean? But once the manager says he's not doing it in training, it kind of feels like there's now an exit route for somewhere. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes back to Italy in January. I hope he doesn't. I hope he stays. But... I guess it's down to him. Do you know what I mean? He's not really been great since he came back.
I was going to ask, when you say you want him to stay, I know you're a big fan of his, but his performances on the pitch when he has played haven't been as good as you'd expect from someone with that talent.
No, I mean, he's very hit and miss as a footballer anyway. I mean, he's still quite young, but I think, yeah, he's just, the game away against, I can't remember who it was, he was brilliant for 5 minutes, then he looked disinterested for the next 5 minutes, then he could get sent off. And then, I don't know, it feels like there's an exit strategy for him there now.
I suppose if he does go, someone else is going to have to come in, and Falcao's name has been loosely linked with Man City.
Well, to be honest, if he goes, you're on the City website, you guys aren't, but I'm on the City website kind of regularly, and we're always hearing about these kids that are out on loan, this Swedish kid who's like some goal machine, Scadetti or whatever his name is, do you know what I mean? And it's like, why buy another superstar centre forward when we must have kids in the academy who just recall them and stick them on the bench, because if you've got Tevez, Aguero and Dzeko, what you're going to do? You've got Falcao, so you've got to have two of them on the bench at any given time. They're not going to wear that. Dzeko's not going to wear that next season. Do you know what I mean? He's a top player. And I think it's about three top strikers is enough, and a lad that's kind of coming through the academy. That's the way I'd look at it. I don't think we've got room for Falcao, to be honest.
What about
Chelsea need him more than we do.
What about Torres? Would you have him at City?
I guess if he wants to park my limousine when I'm pulled up, he can do that. Yeah? Other than that, I don't know. I feel bad for him though, because what has happened to him?
Well, I mean, I was on the radio yesterday and I asked the question, is he a busted flush? And I don't think we're going to see the Torres that we saw 4 or 5 years ago. I've seen enough of him. He waits for things to happen. If Sergio Aguero was playing, or Tevez was playing up front for Chelsea, they would have themselves nearly double figures by now in the league.
I think you're right. I think if Chelsea had a Suarez even, they'd be 6 or 7 points clear by now. I just think there's something. He's lost whatever it was he had at Liverpool. It's gone. Whether it was the confidence of the manager or the team was set up around him at Liverpool, but I don't know what it is. But you just look at him and he's an absolute shadow of his. Because he was like at one point, at 1 6-month period, he was the best striker in the world.
Yeah. Yeah, without a doubt. I want to ask you about Joe Hart. Before I do, you very kindly came in before the season started and we went through sort of everything and anything about who's going to finish up where. At this stage, after 12 games now, are you surprised by any team's position at the moment?
West Brom, Everton, I guess. Other than that, I thought QPR would go down. I can't see QPR getting where they're going to get another win from. You know what I mean?
Do you think Sparky would stay there?
Who are they going to get? Unless there's somebody right now offering Harry a million quid.
Yeah.
$1 million to his dog, allegedly, to stay up.
It's worth it.
Dog.
It's worth it. It's worth it. The money.
His dog.
All checks made payable to Bonda in the Cayman Islands. I think there could be movement. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? But I was just watching Gary Neville tonight doing the analysis on the QPR game. And he made some brilliant points, and they were just awful. I mean, if they're not playing for him, you know what I mean? Where you've got the team at the top of the table with apparently rubbish team spirit, who every time they go a goal down are like putting a foot on the gas immediately to get out of trouble. These lads down the other end of the table are not really doing it, you know what I mean?
What about AVB? I mean, I know you're a huge fan of AV Brent, as you call him.
Absolutely. The game on Saturday, he's unbelievable. He'd get beat 5, and he's saying we were on top from start to finish.
Amazing.
By the time he'd stopped looking at his notebook, Arsenal had scored 3 goals. I love him. I was in a cab with a cab driver today. I mean, there's an unknown fact that all black cab drivers are Tottenham fans in London, and they don't like him over there. I used to struggle to find one Tottenham fan who'll would say anything decent about him. He's a nutcase.
Yeah, but you love him. You want him in the Premier League, don't you?
Yeah, I'd like him at United.
Don't say that. That's never going to happen.
That's where I'd like him at United.
That's never going to happen. We both know that.
No, I think his compatriot Mourinho is lined up for that job, isn't he?